to connect with you. Today, this is the second scheduled meeting that we have for my Australian and European tribe. And so I really want to continue to do these offerings. They're going to be every Monday at 4 p.m. Perth time, which I believe is 10 a.m. Paris time. So if those resonate for you, thank you for joining in. Hello, Ravenheart. I am so thankful and so happy that you are here. I'm going to go ahead and set the space. And since you are the first one to comment, we'll go ahead and start with a live reading for you. So we'll see what is coming up in that way. So let's go ahead and take a couple of nice big deep breaths. Just setting your intention, setting the energy for the container. And so as we know, if you've watched these before, you'll know, but if you're just tuning in for the first time, I want to let you know that we are here at this exact point in time, but it doesn't matter when you watch this video. So if you're watching the replay, this video is for you at exactly the time that you have tuned in and exactly the time that you have connected. So what I mean by that is that I believe your higher self as your guide or your spirit team has directed you to come to this video at this exact moment so that you can receive the messages that are in here. So even though we're doing live readings, you are still able to connect with yourself in a way that is positive, that is focused on expansion, and that is focused on vibrational ascension. So what I mean by vibrational ascension is that we are energetic beings first. We are made of frequency. Our soul is a frequency. Our emotions are frequency. Hello, Akora, welcome. So allowing yourself to connect in with understanding who you are as an energetic being first. So that is the intention. When we talk about vibrational ascension, what we're doing is we are intentionally and consciously moving through different fields of vibrational frequency to let go of patterns, vibrational currents that are heavy or that are dense or that are low vibration so that we can continue to ascend more into alignment with our light bodies. So our physical bodies will want to start vibrating at a frequency or at a resonance that is much higher and much higher and much higher. So for those of you that may be thinking of changing your diet or eliminating processed sugars or processed meats or even just processed foods in general, what I have found for myself is that my body just is craving more nutrient dense foods. So I don't have the cravings for junk foods anymore because my physical body has already started to attune itself to a new and higher frequency. So it wants that higher concentration of nutrient dense minerals and substance. So I believe the same is true for our friendships, for our connections, for our work, all of these things. When you start to attune yourself to a higher vibrational frequency than you have been at before, I just remembered to put my microphone on, you will start to recognize that there are certain things that start to fall out of your life, not simply because you need to go on a tangent and, cut things out. It's really more that you'll just gently recognize and know that it's time to start making different choices for yourself. It's very gentle. It's very easy. It doesn't have to be this like crazy process. It is. It is, but I do my best to try to make it as gentle and easy for you as possible because I have been on my own personal growth journey since my early 20s. And it has been a wild ride. So I have learned to be as gentle and graceful with the process of healing as possible. So Ravenheart, let me know that you are still here. And I'm going to go ahead and set our prayer of intent, start with a stream of light codes, and we'll go straight into those live readings. All right, beautiful. So taking a nice big deep breath. As we call in divine truth and love into the sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every viewer, replayer, and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. All right, beautiful Raven Heart. Let me go ahead and tune in with your energy. Iatanai ia koa satana akaya o apunaka ia ututuku na akapua asanai ua satani ia akapu ukuatani ia oapuaka. All right, beautiful. So what I am seeing, because I've seen you posting and commenting a lot, and thank you so much for your support. Truly, thank you so much. It really, sometimes these are the things that really help keep me going. So I appreciate it so much more than you know. I do see that the videos and the transmissions are really working well for you. There is a light aura on the outer edges and like upper body and outer edges of your energetic being. There's something going on deeper in the core, and it does look like really deep family programming. It looks like very deep. It actually looks like ancestral wounding around belief systems and almost like dogma. Dogma is the word that's coming to mind, but it's very, very heavy, almost like guilt, that hellfire and brimstone sort of thing that we know is prevalent on this planet for a very long time. So what I am seeing is that you, in your own sovereignty, you in your own autonomy, ability to choose for yourself, have started to understand that there are other ways of being and there are other ways of existing in the world. There are other ways of connecting into the quantum field, the quantum reality, that is very, very beneficial and has been working very well for you. What I am seeing is that what we need to look at, which I'm more than willing and happy to help support you in this right now, because I do not think you're the only one, and I think this will actually serve many, many people, is that the ancestral, this is why we focus on the DNA upgrades. This is why we focus on upgrading the frequency of our DNA. So I don't know if this was true for you guys, but when I learned about DNA in high school, I remember specifically that one of my glossary terms was called junk DNA, and it was because science only understood about 4% of what our DNA does. 4% of what our DNA does. The rest is junk DNA, 96% junk DNA. I kid you not, this was in my biology books on the test for my biology class. So as I have developed my own abilities, as I have learned how energy works, as I have learned how our DNA is constructed, and I don't know all of it, but what I do know is that when I start doing these upgrades and I start focusing on my ancestral line, there is a ripple effect that influences the members in my family in a really positive and really beautiful way, and these are the ones that are still alive. Now with that, I also do feel a stronger connection with my family members who have passed. And so as I am a medium, yes, they do talk to me. Yes, they do connect with me. Yes, it is a beautiful thing, and they are there with me as guides, as the chances of them being there for you in your world with your family, with your lineage, is also very high that they are also there with you. So when we look at upgrading our DNA and we look at activating these things inside of ourselves, that up levels belief systems, because belief systems themselves are frequency. Everything is energy. And so when we have hardwired belief systems that says, if you do this, then you will meet God on Judgment Day when you die, and you will go to heaven or you will go to hell. That belief system, and I want to be present with my words as I share this, but this belief system can be used to control and manipulate human behavior. In some ways, that's very beneficial to a community, to not kill each other or to not cheat on each other's, husband and wives, that sort of thing. There's in some ways there's protection and there's safety in this. And in other ways, there are cages. There is not the ability to be free. There is not the ability to be a free thinker. There is not the ability to really allow what moves through you in a creative sense to be present. I mean, we look at the Salem witch trials and we see like how many women were burned and murdered during that time. Why were we not looking at the people who were burning and murdering these people? There's something very wrong with these scripts and what we're told, right? And how to believe. So when we look at the ancestral line, the DNA, and this is what I'm seeing encoded here inside, is like the upper channels, the upper chakras are open, they're spinning, there's newness, there's new awareness, there's that sort of thing, and then there's a density in the body, which is totally common. It's like par for the course. So when we upgrade our energetic body and when we upgrade our consciousness and when our heart starts to open up, because the core of your conscious understanding is actually not in your mind, it's in your heart, which is why a lot of people have a hard time with actually connecting with their heart, because there's so much pain there from past experiences in these human bodies. But what we're learning to do is opening our hearts through compassion and through forgiveness, and knowing that we can live and let live, and that when we make love our religion, or love the currency that we are trading, or love as the passion of balance through all universal presence, you will be able to see that the awareness that comes through the mind and the awareness that comes through the mind, the throat, the telepathic communication in through the heart meets the physical body chakras as well. So it's solar plexus, sacral chakra, and root. So with this, we want to start anchoring down through the root chakra. So this is why we talk about the grounding cord. The grounding cord goes from your root chakra all the way down to the center of the planet. We can go ahead, you can close your eyes and visualize that now if you'd like. It might take you a few times. The grounding cord, when you learn something new, don't expect yourself to just get it right away. Don't expect yourself to just visualize it right away. You might feel that you connect that grounding cord and it doesn't go all the way down to the center. You might find that there are gaps in it, or that you just can't visualize the center of the earth, or maybe there's a problem with the connection from your awareness to your root chakra. And so what we want to do is give yourself the opportunity of clarity to be able to breathe easy into that space. And so as you are breathing easy into that space, just visualizing a line like a laser beam. I find the laser beam really helps if I'm struggling with seeing it work all the way for me. And some days, I've been doing this for a long time, and some days I still have challenges creating that grounding cord, just from other various influences. So when you create that laser beam like focus from your root chakra all the way down to the center of the planet, and you set your energetic body on release, it's like a sigh of relief. You realize that you can let go, you can stop carrying the baggage that isn't yours. Now, anything can go down this grounding cord. It essentially is like a drain, and not a drain in the way that it drains you of your energy, but a drain in the way that when you use a kitchen sink and you're done using the dirty dishwater because you already used it, what are you going to do with it? You let it go down the drain. That's what a grounding cord is. That's what a grounding cord does. So when you connect, again, root chakra all the way down to the center of Mama Gaia, and you allow yourself to be present with the energy that is releasing from your body, you can give people their energy back. And by giving them their energy back, you simply just let it go down through the grounding cord. You can visualize or use that grounding cord as a vacuum, just allowing it to pull any and all energies out of your body. Again, down through root chakra, all the way down to the center of the planet. Letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. Breathing in deeply, breathing in easily. And surrendering all that is not you. Beautiful. So now that we have this grounding cord connected, and we're looking at the ancestral DNA, we're looking at embodiment. So that's what is really important here, and that's what we want to focus on, is embodiment. So what does that mean? That means that you have a conscious awareness of your energetic body living inside of your physical form. So your energetic body living inside of your physical form is the embodiment that is actually what allows for perfect alignment to take place. Until you are embodied, alignment does not really start taking place. And so this is why you see people that are in alignment, but also that are not fully, clear or conscious or holier than thou or whatever it is. It's that they're in alignment, and it doesn't always take a very clear, conscious, present action to get you into alignment. For some, it's easy and it's natural, and for some, there's been a lot of trauma and all sorts of other things that have kept us from being able to connect in to the energy that is actually helping you to thrive effortlessly. So, as we connect in to that ancestral or the ancestral genetic programming that has been designed by the programming of society and the viral programming of what we are told we can and cannot do, which does not give credit to the sovereign being, the sovereign form of presence. And so as we slow down and as we pause and as we feel the energy of presence moving through this space, moving through this connection that we're having, allowing yourself to be gentle and easy as you open your awareness to resetting the limits that your ancestors were carrying about what is possible. As we live in a modern world, we know that there are a lot more possibilities than there were 100 years ago or 500 years ago. If you think about it, all of the genes that are living inside of your body from 500 years ago, do you know how many people that actually is? We got a lot of genetics flowing in our body, which means we have a lot of memory imprints flowing in our body, which means we have a lot of programming flowing in our physical bodies. So the practice of vibrational ascension, the practice of conscious awakening, the practice of the conscious evolution, the great awakening that we are living through right here and now in the midst of this global panini that we are all experiencing, that has turned every single person on this planet's life inside out and upside down, in my hope so that we can see ourselves more clearly. So I want to give us the opportunity to take a couple more nice big deep breaths, connecting with that root chakra all the way down to the center of the planet. And I'm going to start channeling some light codes through to help accelerate the release and reset into the present time, the present awareness, the present aware focus of what you are here to do, what you are capable of doing, and how you can continue to expand your heart to be in that state of pure alignment with your authentic true nature. So breathe with me. Ia tanaya ua pusaya anakai itua uasa ia ua tunia haakaniawa. Sending gratitude and appreciation to all lessons learned. Atuanaya ua tunu ua putua, to all the advances that have been made throughout the years to serve us here and now. Ua tana ia wa kuasa tani ia haaka, ia tana ia ua pu uanakai. Ia tana ia akanai I kua ua pu tutunu ua pua haaka. Asasanai ia wa ua pu uku tunu ua haa. Ia niawa akua pua tana haa. I sasanaya ia wa ua pua ta. I tatakayana ya ua sayana. Okay, so really strong channel and messages that are coming through that have to do with the activation. As we mentioned, DNA is vibrational. A lot of the encodings that are in our system are vibrational. It's written in vibrational coding. And our soul that is in existence before the moment of conception, in and of itself, has a lot of information in it. So as the soul is participating in the creation of the human fetus, there is a arrangement of the cells that are matching the information that is coming in through the physical, biological genes of mom and dad, through that ancestral line, as well as the pairing that your soul is bringing into this world. Wow. This is a big wow. So with this, as I was speaking those codes, what they were showing me is that we're not only releasing, essentially it's like defragmenting. When you defragment a computer, you like reorganize all the files, you put them all together, and then you're like, now the computer works a little bit better. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And on top of that, what we're doing is we're also uploading, or not even uploading new software, but we're reactivating information that's already been embedded. So what I'm being shown is that the ancestral lineage of your soul, so meaning where your soul was before the moment of incarnation, when I started accessing these memories, this is when I really started channeling archangels and really started becoming more present to multidimensional world and being more comfortable with it, because it's a little bit eerie. It's a little bit like, woo, at first. But with that, when you get more comfortable with learning that these multidimensional beings that show up and learning how to discern, it's so important. We get so excited about channeling in the beginning sometimes that we're willing to open ourselves up to anything. That is not the practice, my friends. This is why embodiment, this is why you hear me talk so much about embodiment and discernment. Embodiment and discernment. Embodiment and discernment. Know who you're talking to. It's the same as when you talk to a human being. If you're talking to a human being and you're like, I got the heebie-jeebies from this one, I don't feel so good talking to this one, trust your gut. The same is true for these multidimensional beings when they come. There's such a clear resonance when they are benevolent, meaning that they are on your team, they're on your side, they're there with you to focus on your health, your well-being, your ascension, and you can feel it in your bones, you can feel it in your gut when they are not. And so that's when it is important to know when to surrender and know when to set clear boundaries. I talk so much more about this in depth in the Metaphysical Club, which is the advanced level psychic development training course that we do lead. So I do, yes, go much more in depth. But right now on YouTube, on this public forum, sometimes it doesn't feel as aligned to go that deep. So with that, what we do want to be aware of, bringing it back to the original channel, is that you as an infinite being, you as a conscious starseed, you as a light worker, chances are you've probably had a sense of homesickness that you can't really explain. It's not a homesickness for your family, but it's a homesickness for something and somewhere other than this planet. And so when you connect with that sensation and that feeling, that's what's being activated now, is the soul memories and the genetic, the DNA that is activating a conscious remembering of where it was that you were. And this is what this is the mechanics of what I talk about when I say we're activating soul memories. So you might have in the next few days dreams of when you were in Atlantis, or dreams of when you were living in Lemuria, or dreams of when you were living on Karnak, or dreams of when you were living on other planets and other galaxies. I've been reading past lives in all sorts of different spaces and dimensions for many, many years. I have been to other planets. I have become aware of the different frequencies that are on other planets. And so when we talk about that, I know that my soul has been to these places. I also know when I'm reading the soul memories of other people that they're showing me a photo album of where their soul has been too. It's like, we're just sharing notes, we're exchanging information. And so inside of you is already embedded with the information that this comes from of your own soul memories. You guys, this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. Having this awareness and understanding that you are more infinite than your mind could possibly believe or have ever possibly known, and for sure would not know if you just believed that your life began in the moment of birth and was finished when you die. And I don't necessarily feel that I need to preach about reincarnation. I'm just letting you know there's a lot more to this. this whole thing that we are experiencing. Um, so let's go ahead and bring in some more codes because I absolutely love what's coming through. When I do this kind of channeling, sometimes it's new information for me as well. So I really appreciate these lives and I really appreciate connecting with you in these ways because in a lot of ways it's an exploration for myself as well. And so it's such I thoroughly enjoy this. So thank you so much for joining me in this exploration and playful time. All right, let's go ahead and take a couple more nice big deep breaths and bring in some more of those radiant codes. Yo anai ua pusaya haata I oa tiani I kia haaka ua sunia haa I ua asanai I ua tua anai iaka I ua nai I ua su ua ta Ia nai I ku ua pu usu unu iawa Iata iata ia tua panai Akanai I sutanai I tuukua apua ka anaha aya asusu unu uapu utaya nia ua haaka. Ah, beautiful. Okay, so what's coming through with this one is they're showing me that they're also giving you and us, all of us, guidance for the next few steps. But not just the next few steps. It's like insights. It's not necessary to go ahead and make plans, right? That's what we've learned in these last 2 years. Don't be going and making plans because what we plan doesn't really pan out, right? But it is about listening to your intuition, and they're showing me that they're giving you clues about what's coming so that you can start aligning to that and you can start mentally and emotionally preparing yourself. There is a lot more coming through than we think. So we want to make sure that we are focused on the slipstream of energy. I want to reference the conscious star seed videos, because the conscious star seed videos, I talk a lot about the conscious slipstream of energy that's like this protective wave current that's here that we as light workers are living in, that we are protected, that those who cannot see us cannot see us, those who cannot hear us cannot hear us. And at some point in your path of awakening, you weren't even able to hear people talk about consciousness. I know that was true for me. I remember the first time people started talking about consciousness, and I was like, that's too deep. I cannot handle it. Where's the beer? Like, no, not ready for that. So, that being said, those who do not have eyes to see and those who do not have ears to hear literally cannot see or hear you. They're not ignoring you. They literally cannot see you. This is the experience of living in multiple dimensions on the same planet. So, we're going deep today. So the multiple dimensions that we are coexisting in means that we as physical beings are made of matter. We're made of carbon. Our DNA is carbon-based DNA. So we are made of carbon. We exist in the material world. My body can sit in this chair. My body can touch this table. I can pick up this wonderful glass of cacao and take a sip. And so, yes, you can only access what you're ready for. Yes, which is why I enjoy our metaphysical club, because we've been journeying for so long that we go very deep and there's a lot of openness in that exploration. Just as an example, it's why YouTube videos are a little different than those. I love them all, love them both. So we're living in this multidimensional plane. We're living in a multidimensional, I don't want to say plane, it's like we're living in a multidimensional world. So when I communicate with spirits loved ones who have passed, the loved ones who have passed, they're communicating with me in the fifth dimension. When I'm communicating with angels or archangels, they're connecting with me from the seventh dimension or above. When I'm connecting with my alien soul family, star tribe, I'm not exactly clear, because they don't come down and they're like, we're here from the 12th dimension. That is not how this works. It's a sensation, it's a feeling, it's a vibration. I had a really powerful experience the other night that I think I'm going to share. But this multidimensionality that we're coexisting in is our protection as well. And so when we are embodying heaven on earth, this is again why I preach about embodiment, because we are embodying our multidimensional body. So eventually at some point, you won't want to eat meat, you won't want to eat dairy, you won't want to eat animal products, you won't want to eat processed sugars, you just won't want to eat it. It's not that you have to shame yourself or you have to believe all these other things, like you just won't want to eat it because you know it's not a vibrational match for where you're going or what your body needs to resonate at its highest potential. And in some cases, in some stages of the journey, eating meat is very grounding. It helps to embody you, especially if you've had issues with drugs or alcohol, which a lot of sensitive light beings have, because it hurts being in this world sometimes. And so we want to numb and we want to check out. That I know that path well. That's why I'm on the other side, sharing this without shame or judgment of those behaviors, because I know the pain and the desire to numb. So when we are in this multiple dimensional reality and we are embodying our fifth dimensional infinite self consciously inside of our physical body, you start radiating at a completely different frequency. You start radiating and resonating at a completely different frequency that absolutely blows all expectations of other people like out of the water, but they don't know why. I get this reflection all the time. People feel me walk into the room and they're like, well, you have that star quality. You have that. I can feel it about you. But they don't know why. I know why. Because I know what I do to cultivate that. I do a lot to cultivate my energy in a way that is present and open and also safe and protected. And so this multiple dimensional world and reality that we are existing in, sometimes we have to pop down into the third dimension, and it's quite dense. And we can be in these physical bodies with our carbon-based DNA existing in the fifth dimension and the third dimension at the same time. This is the embodiment of the higher self. This is what we talk about in the 7 weeks to embody your higher self course. This is the importance of it. That course will change your life, I guarantee it. And it's $222 in the link tree below. The price might have gone up. Sorry, I haven't tuned into that. But go ahead and just feel the sensation of your resonance in the third dimension and feel the sensation of the resonance of yourself in the fifth dimension. Iatani iawa su utuni iawa akatsunakai iwa kuaputunakai iasasanaki iakanakai. A lot of people think that the fifth dimension or the new earth or heaven on earth is a destination to be created. It could not be farther from the truth. It's a complete myth. The embodiment of the higher self, the embodiment of this fifth dimensional frequency. It's a frequency. It is a sensation to be felt. Abraham talks about it through Esther Hicks as getting into the vortex. Heaven on earth. Embodiment of the higher self. If you hear people talking about we need to create the new earth, they don't get it. They're operating from mind. We're not creating the new earth. The new earth already exists. Heaven on earth already exists. We're walking into it. We are aligning to the frequency that exists already. Because we are interdimensional beings resonating with a feedback loop to source. So this symbol right here, it stands for monad, which is why the name of brand for my company is Monad, and we have the Monad Society, which is a group of the people that are in it. Monad is the indivisible spark of divine frequency, divine consciousness that exists at the absolute core of every single living being on this planet. At that absolute core is the exact frequency that exists, giving the feedback from us to source and from source back to us. So as we ascend and as we choose to upgrade our frequency, that is actually influencing the feedback loop that's going to source. So source is evolving. Source is not a stagnant frequency. Source is evolving, but we are a fragment of source as well. So as source evolves, so do we. And it's a constant feedback loop that's just continuing to go. And I don't know why I'm going this way. Source is over there in my imagination right now. But it's really all here, all present, all the time. So the fifth dimension is not a destination. The new earth is not something that needs to be created. Heaven on earth is not something that we need to pass judgment to get into. It is a frequency that we embody. It is a frequency that we resonate. And here's the kicker. It's already inside of you. We don't have to make it up. It's already there. It talks about in the Bible. The kingdom of heaven is within. It's there. It's all there. All that we need is inside of us. We have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten who we've come from. We came to this planet with a hell of a trip of amnesia. But if you watch the Conscious Starseed video, you'll see that in that Conscious Starseed video, there are beings that are coming to this planet now, to women that are having babies now, that in conscious communities and with conscious parents don't have to go through the amnesia. They're aware, they remember, they're tuned in. This shortcuts a lot of the exploration that we have to do as human beings, that allows us to embody more of that, because the more people that have embodied their self. I have a candle that's just going absolutely crazy right now. Whew! The more people that we have that are embodying these frequencies, that are embodying this currency inside of themselves, the more it activates that exact same experience in other people. All over the place. All the time. Doesn't matter your skin color, doesn't matter what country you're in, doesn't matter what you believe as far as your own religion. You'll just start thinking new thoughts and you'll go, wait a second, I need to explore this. Wait, you mean the government isn't my best friend? Wait, you mean the preacher has been programmed to believe what he has been taught? You mean the doctor has been programmed to believe what they have been taught? You mean the teacher has been programmed to believe what they're teaching? Where's the heart? Where's the consciousness inside of the form that is inside of our heart? That's the frequency that we're stepping into. That's why when you meet somebody that is so heart-centered, there's a magnetism, there's a gravitational pull, because they are reminding you of what it feels like to connect with your own heart. That might be why you watch my videos. Because there's something inside of me that reminds you how to connect inside and connect with your own heart. There's something really profound, and there's something really beautiful, and there's something really effervescent, and there's something really light about all of the knowing that you are embodying here in this present time moment. It allows you to, with this awareness, when the mind starts shifting, the energy in the body starts responding, the cells start listening. The cells in your body were saying, hey, get into that live, or hey, watch the recording of this video. Start connecting in a new way. There's something more that we want to see. Yes, Ravenheart is saying yes. It's allowing this feedback loop to take place, because in some form of some awareness, there's something about what I'm saying that feels familiar. Like I'm not saying it for the first time, or that you're not hearing it for the first time. And it may not be because you've ever heard it before, or maybe you have. But it's also possible that maybe it seems familiar because you've already known this, and you just simply needed the reminder that there's an awareness of the existence inside of you that is really tuned in to the present connection of your own higher self, of your own soul's alignment. You are your own guru. I will never sit here in front of you and tell you to follow me. I will never, well, except maybe on social media, but I will never sit here and tell you that I know the right way for you. I don't. What I know is how I have found the right way for me. That's what I know. I know that I have found the right way for me. And I know that I am able to teach people how to find the right way for them. And if they just so happen to resonate with what I'm saying, then let's keep talking. A teacher or a guru or a guide should never be siphoning your energy in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form. In the same way that me as a teacher or a person who's just having conversations that are expanding your mind. I met a man recently who the word teacher really, really triggered him. So it doesn't matter. We don't need to use that word. But as you are connecting with the authenticity of your own heart, there are certain people, places, and things that will activate certain things inside of your body that will remind you. And in some cases, you might not always know. I did a live this morning on Instagram. I got really fired up, and I was saying there's sometimes I'm just sitting in a restaurant, and as I'm sitting in that restaurant, I'm just sharing prayers that every single person that's sitting in that room with me is activating the connection with their own heart, because I know that on a fifth dimensional level, what I am doing in that room draws the attention from other people that are in that room, and more importantly, by the higher self of these other people that are in that room, that start connecting the dots from where they have forgotten how to connect with their heart. Standardized testing does not allow teachers to connect with their heart, and I'm talking about school teachers. Medical school students have to study so much that there is not really much time to connect with their heart. They're constantly in their mind. There's a lot of programming in this world, that keeps us from connecting to our hearts. When you truly connect into your heart, and when you truly understand that your heart is not about, it's not there to just love one other person and devote the rest of your life to loving one person in relationship and making a relationship work. That is barely even preschool to the capacity of what your heart is capable of doing and what your heart is here to do. Your heart is an extraordinary mechanism. Your heart does so much more than you could even, than your human brain can even comprehend. Your heart is it's your exact telephone line to source at all times. That means that you have a direct connection to your very own creator at all times. At all times. Think of what that means for the spiritual technology of what you are capable of, that your mind hasn't even begun to be able to comprehend. I mean, holy moly. Holy moly. So if that's possible, if you have a direct line to source at all times, you have a direct line to your very own creator by means of your very own signature frequency, that is your unique signature, it's your unique sliver of the universe that is yours and yours alone. And I'm not talking about your egoic awareness. I'm talking about the frequency, because we talk about the monad, the center of your own presence. This is also the symbol of the sun. It's like the center, the apex of what other gravitational pulls revolve around, the magnetism that exists in this world, the magnetism that we feel towards other people, the attraction that we feel towards other people. There is something very profound that starts to happen when you're able to really let go and follow your heart. We've heard the phrase, let go and let God. Sometimes for people, the G word is a trigger word. So use something else. Use something else. But do not throw the entire baby out with the bathwater. You know when you are connected. You know it. In psychology, they call it a peak experience. And so I do my best to facilitate as many peak experiences through this platform that is called YouTube as I possibly can, to help remind you of that connection within your own soul of souls, within your own heart of hearts. Yes, the great heart. I love that, Raven Heart. Thank you. That connection to yourself within is so profound. It's so beautiful. It's unlike anything else that this world can ever offer you. Ever, ever, ever. It's up to you to encourage your conscious mind to get on board. And that's the process of unraveling. That's the process of remembering. That's when we get into the exercises and tasks and meditations and mantras and all these other things that we do to keep ourselves busy to remember how to connect. All of those things I just listed are all designed to get us to connect. But don't be confused. You're connecting with beings outside of yourself. All these ascended masters, all these guides that are here to help us, they're here to activate the remembrance of your own power within. I truly believe that we all have the capacity to create things on such a great level that oh my goodness, the amount of legacies that are here in this world. Not all of them have a book, not all of them have a podcast, not all of them are documented. But I mean, think of the great lives of the great warriors. And by warriors, I don't mean people that were murdering people on a battlefield in the name of something. I'm talking about the people that stood for the cause of the heart above all other adversities, that said, this is right, this is not right. I'm choosing to forgive. I'm choosing to hold all that have created or desired harm against me. I am choosing to hold them in such a state of grace, in such a state of presence, that all that is within me honors all that is within you. No matter what you've done, no matter what you've said, no matter what, in some people's eyes, worthy of judgment thing you may have created or harm, whatever. At the end of the day, we all come back to love. At the end of the day, we all absolutely come back to love. So let's take a couple nice big deep breaths. Feel what you're feeling. Notice what you notice. If it feels right and natural to you to start writing things down, go ahead and write things down. Ia sanai ia kua punakai, ia tunaki ia ha, ia aha au no ua huuku ua sa sanai, I sua ua haanai ia ka nai, akanai I ka na ia wa su uku ua huukua, ia anai hi ia wa huuku, a ia wa ua nu ua huuku pua sa sa, ua ntanai ia tu nu ua haakai ia, sa sanai hi ua pua tinia. Ia tinia haayaka ua pu su unuku tu unaya haya wa ua pu kua satana ua pu ukua. I'm hearing a message come through to remind you that what is on the horizon is absolutely profound. What is on the horizon is absolutely extraordinary. It is absolutely beautiful. It is up to you to be sure to resonate yourself out of the frequency of fear and chaos and what doomsday story may be being told, and always remember that there is a graciousness of beauty within your heart. There is a graciousness of soul illumination within your heart. There is a graciousness of absolute beauty and kindness within the expanses of all things that are available to us on so many different levels. And so as we honor our ancestors, as we honor the DNA that is living inside of our body at this time, and as we choose to consciously encourage our egoic minds to maybe not be in the driver's seat, but to be the engine that is carrying the awareness of the heart, the choices of the heart, the information of the heart, knowing that the heart is such a pure magnet, a pure magnet for aligned opportunities, aligned blessings, aligned rewards, aligned experiences, little miracles and big miracles, that there's so much available to us on so many levels, that all that is within your heart is magnetized in the beauty way, that you are here to experience profound differences, honored intentions, connection to divine presence. Yotunai atua, iuasasanai ikuaputunakai, yawatanai ikiatanai, yawapukuatatake, yatatake, anaki iwaputukukai, anakai, iwasututukutanakai, iwatutukuruparkarake, anakai, itunukutukai, iwasutunuku oaputukakai, anaki atutukurupatakarake, awapua. Sasania wa uapu sutuniki iatariki uapu ukututuki ania haakapu ua satariki iawatana ia wa haaka satni ikia titiki ania haakapu sayanana ia hoapu tataki ania oatana ia sunia uapu tukuna ia haakati ania awapua iu uasana ya tukupu huukaya tana ia uapu tana ia su ua putana ki ia tani ia aka tunu ua setana ia hu akua. Aka ni ia haaka pu ua tutu ki ani awa haa su uane ia ta io tutu puane haya aqua. It's a very clear message going through. As I was sharing that, I was being encouraged to share how I started speaking light language. So I was born a medium. I was born psychic. I was born highly empathic. I am a Cancer by zodiac sun sign. I am very watery, always highly intuitive. I never make a decision without following my intuition or my feelings. It doesn't feel right. I don't do it anymore. I did a lot of things when I was younger that didn't feel right. Trial and error. I started doing psychic readings when I was in my early 20s. I developed my gifts professionally by getting my degree in psychology and then studying at the Berkeley Psychic Institute in Northern California. And so I had been a practicing professional psychic, used to read for a psychic hotline, and then I decided in my early 20s, and then in 2016 I decided to hire a digital marketing coach, and that's when I started growing my business. I became a high-level business coach for intuitive entrepreneurs and had a desire to start working with corporate companies. I got myself involved in a bit of a pickle in Los Angeles when I was living there in downtown LA, which evoked an entire life implosion. It was like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong and ultimately got me out of LA and onto Bali, which I believe was a absolute godsend. So March of 2020, I was sitting at my computer and I'd already been doing the psychic work. I'd already been leading meditations. I've already had book clubs. I've already taught other people how to channel, how to grow their business. I'd already done quite a bit in this field. But I was sitting working on my computer and I heard at that point, I was going by the name Samantha. I heard Samantha, go ahead and put your computer down. We have a message that's coming through for you. Not uncommon for me at all. So I put my computer down. I put in a meditation and I started listening to it. And then after that, and it was just a sound meditation. After that meditation, there was a video on YouTube that I'm happy to put in the link in the description by this woman named Marlene Cronin that was like an activation of light language. And I had never really connected with it before. So I was like, no, that's kind of what like those people over there do, right? I'm a psychic. Those people are tarot readers. Those people are astrology people. Okay, we all have our own lane. And I just didn't really think about it much. But it's a 6-minute video, and so curiosity really sparked. I clicked on it. Within a matter of 10 minutes, I had a full-blown 100% activation. I could not stop speaking it. It was channeling through my mouth so fast for so long that I actually got blisters on the sides of my tongue from how fast my tongue was moving, how fast my mouth was moving, and I couldn't, like, it just had to come out. It had to keep coming out. that night I had some of the most profound dreams I've ever had. Felt like I was being initiated into another clear activation of my own awareness. And when I started, as I mentioned, developing my psychic abilities, I had mentors. When I started channeling angels, I had other people that also had communicated and talked with angels. So I had people in my field that I could talk to. When I started channeling the light language, I had no idea who to call, what to do, like what was going on. Um, and I slowly started to learn, and of course, through the light codes and my own channeling abilities, got a lot of my own answers as well. I believe that the speaking of the light codes and the light channels is something that we can all do. It is that home frequency. When people ask me who I'm channeling, I say my heart. This is coming from my heart. This is the language. When people ask me what is light language, I describe that I believe that it is the closest resonance that our human bodies can speak in connection to source. Light language is designed is a funny word, but it's designed to bypass the egoic consciousness. So if I say connect your root chakra to the center of the earth and create a grounding cord, you might go, well, I don't agree that there are chakras. Maybe you believe that the earth is flat, and you're like, I don't know that there's a center of the right. It's like your egoic mind can like make up all these stories and be like, nah, I don't want to do that. Well, okay, so cool. Light language bypasses all of that. It goes straight into, and so when we're doing these readings and I see these things in our field of how I can support or what I can do to move energy and have it come through more smoothly and more clearly, there's a way to really connect into the clear and conscious understanding that you are here as a present multidimensional being. You have the language of the connection to source, and this is also where and why singing and people, and not singing like pop music. It's not that. It's singing and toning. That is, it's like the pure frequency. That's why sound resonance is so strong. So let's see. I'll ask for a little bit to come through in that way. So there's information, vibration that comes through the frequency of the toning. And so the toning, when you're hearing people singing and when it sounds like they're singing the song of angels, it's often because they are. They're connecting with that frequency of what they connect with as their home, their soul resonance, and are able to share that in another way that bypasses the egoic consciousness. So this is another way that we continue to evolve together. And so there are some frequencies and some tones and some sounds that will actually pull you down in resonance. And there are some frequencies and sounds and tones that bring you up in resonance. In the same way that when you're sitting in a group of happy, healthy people, you can start to feel healthy and happy, or it'll shine a light on where maybe you're not making the healthiest and happiest choices. Versus when, let's say, you're in a bar where they're playing really heavy or dark music and it's like the environment is completely different, it'll start to pull you down. And that's not really what we want to be going for anymore, because we're moving on up. We're learning to embody our higher selves in ways that we have not yet been able to and capable of on this planet before, in a mass sort of consciousness way. It's powerful, it's profound. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Go ahead and check in the link in the description below. There's a Linktree link that will bring you to all the present time offers and opportunities that you can join in on if you'd like. I also have in that link the Google Calendar for December. So you can mark up when you're able to meet me here on live and we can dive into more of the live readings. And I got obviously carried away today, but it felt right to just go with what was coming through as far as the live readings. And that may be the case. Maybe the case that I tune in with one person every 10 minutes, and it may be the case that one thing starts a stream of consciousness that just turns into a transmission that we all get to receive the upgrades of and from. So thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much for staying present with me as I promise to stay present with you. I promise to stay active here as long as I can. I promise to do everything I can to walk in the awakened way, in the beauty way with you in this world. Just holding such a deep space of gratitude in my heart for this. Oh, Christine, yes, thank you. Thank you for your um, reflection. And so, to my European and Australian friends, please feel free to share the word. As you can tell by my exquisite accent, I am American. So, I have a lot of American connections, but my intention is to continue to connect as well with different continents and to continue to build that web of light by the role that I am capable and able to do. So, please do feel free to share these videos with your friends and families. All of your likes, shares, comments, it all makes a world of difference as I am at the beginning of trying to do my best to monetize this channel so that I can continue to offer by support of my own livelihood as much of these transmissions to help support the world, um, as best I can. So your support in tuning in, watching the videos, of course, purchasing the programs. I highly recommend the 7 weeks to embody your higher self. Like, I can't recommend that one enough. It is hugely transformative. It has already changed many people's lives. I have seen so many faces that are just shocked and awe when they see me after purchasing the program and doing a couple classes, and they're like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It's very simple. It's just 8 transmissions. You listen to them. They're very clear and succinct to that specific theme. So I highly recommend starting there first. Then, of course, if I do have space available, we can work together one-to-one. And we have the ongoing advanced level courses as well. So when you're ready to ascend with me, come a little bit closer into my field of awareness, you are invited and you are absolutely welcome to join and participate in whatever way feels natural and right to you by means of your own resources. Money is a tight thing lately for a lot of people all over the planet. I realize that. So that's part of my inspiration of doing this and connecting with all of us in Facebook in this way, because I want to make sure that this information is accessible to people all over the place, no matter what kind of income you have, no matter what's in your bank account. I do not want to discriminate in that way, yet at the same time I have to play the money game too. So we're getting just more creative with all of that. There's so many new present time opportunities to create passive income than there were before. So I do encourage you to explore those. My intuition is telling me very clearly to keep exploring crypto. So if you haven't yet, do not sleep on that one. Do not sleep on that one. Go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube channels that will teach you how to start. I'm not an expert on it, but don't sleep on that one. As well as you'll see the playlist on my channel that's called Quantum Cash Flow that will help you move through all sorts of different money programming and family programming around money, finances, scarcity, all of the above. All of the above. We go into a lot of different nooks and crannies with that quantum cash flow. So if that's something where you are feeling stressed financially in this time, you're not alone. It's going on all over the planet. Nothing is wrong with you. There has been a complete economical upside down cake baking for a while. And so I want to do what I can to support you through that. It's free, it's on YouTube, it's a playlist. There's a lot of activations in there and a lot of different exercises to help you connect more deeply in with how that can work for you. So that, my sweet loves, I absolutely adore you. Thank you for joining me. Tune into that Google Calendar, and we're just going to keep doing this. That's the plan. So come as often as you can, watch the replays as often as you can, and know that I love you every single second in between. Thank you for showing up and being here with me. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session, our connection, and our transmission here today is very much complete. All right, my friends. Mwah. Ciao, ciao.